As opposed to seeing Africa as this isolated place, a more accurate understanding of Africa is that it has been an area of interaction for many, many, many years, for millennia, and populations have been moving back and forth, both emanating out of Africa and into Africa. There were Jewish communities in the Sahara and in the Sahel. Of that, there's no question. Some of the speculation is that some of these communities migrate from as far north as Iberia and are seeking to escape difficulties there, and they move into the Saharan area, they move into the Sahel. It's difficult for me to imagine how they would get from there all the way into southeastern Nigeria. I mean, it's possible. It's possible.
Another source for exploration is the journal of an ex-slave whose story became an international bestseller. Olado Equiano was the first African to publish in English during the 18th century. In his narrative, he paints a picture of a serene life in West Africa, and in describing his Igbo childhood, makes several comparisons to the Jewish people.
The well-known Olado Equiano, Gustavus Vasa, whose Igbo identity has been challenged, but I think by and large he's a pretty reliable person. Equiano made references to Jews, I think because it was the closest comparison for Christians that he could come up with. And when he's talking about Jews, he's talking about both biblical Jews, as any Christian in those days would know from the Old Testament, but also perhaps for contemporary Jews, which are probably not as well known to his audience.
More, the decision to embrace Judaism must come with a large amount of certainty.
I know from birth I'm a Jew. Only I know that my forefather missed the way. They missed the way by coming down to Nigeria and decided to behave like Nigeria. We are not Nigerians, I'm sure of that.
I grew up alongside every other Igbo youth. We kept on hearing that Igbo people came from Israel.
There was a story my mom told me at the age of 6 years. I never forget. He said, the Igbos are Jews.
As a child, my father taught us we do not eat these fishes without scales. How did he know that? We don't eat pigs. How did he know that? Even the way we kill our animals, which is killed in a kosher way.
The ritual cleansing, using of birds, animal sacrifice, the slaughter.
Other laws like resting day in the Igbo land will have resting days.
Our marriage rights, our birth.
People will generally mention that Igbo people came from Israel, talk about circumcision on the 8th day, which is universal among the Igbos.
In Igbo land, even before the coming of Christianity, who brought the Bible? In the Bible, we saw circumcision on the 8th day. The Igbos have been circumcising their children on the 8th day. It's an Igbo culture. And secondly, the Nida law, there's this concept in Igbo land that a woman in her menstruation shouldn't cook for her husband, shouldn't sleep with her husband. There's what we call mbuke, a room in the backyard where a woman in her menstruation is sent to stay and she doesn't come close to the husband until after her menstrual flow.
And the Igbo people, by nature and tradition, they believe in the worship of one God. And they don't believe in personality worship.
A lot of Igbo words that sounds quite similar to that of Hebrew.
Igbo is getting from the word Ivrim.
Abraham was the Hebrew. He was specifically referred to in the Bible as Abraham the Hebrew. And if we are to translate Hebrew to Hebrew language, we'll have Hebrew. But I believe that the word Igbo or Igbo is a corruption of Hebrew or Ivri.
In Hebrew, we have kol, kof, waw, lamed. And kol in Hebrew means voice. And in Igbo, the kof was removed, substituted with vowel letter O to be olu, meaning voice. Another Hebrew word, mezuzah, a prayer box you put on the front of your door. And in Igbo, we have mezuzah, meaning put the door in order. Hebrew, ketan, little or small. And Igbo, we have nkenta, meaning little or small. If these people are not descendants of Israel, how come their language rhymes with that of Eretz Israel?
Oyiro ira, oh make a deskem. Oyiro ira, oyiro ira, oyiro ira. Adonai,
These tribes, including that of Gad, made home in Samaria, today the northern part of present-day Israel. In the year 722 BCE, the tribes were attacked by Assyria and quickly conquered. Sent into exile, they scattered throughout the land, and it is here that we lose track of the 10 lost tribes, including Gad, Eri, and their families. Could Eri and his descendants have ended up in Western Africa? In Nigeria, the belief is yes, and there are many theories on just how they got there.
Where Israel is not far away from Nigeria, very close to Nigeria. They enter Ethiopia, enter Cameroon, and Cameroon with our place.
Through Asia, and how they migrated through Sudan to Africa.
When the Jerusalem was destroyed and we were dispersed, we set up stayed in Egypt, then Ethiopia. The travel continued until we find ourselves scattered all over the place.
It was a mixed bag of Israelites that migrated down here. They moved, majority, moved from North Africa, Morocco, passed through Mali, northern Nigeria, entire length of Nigeria, then Igbo land. It was a mixed bag of Israelites that migrated down here. They moved, majority, moved from North Africa, Morocco, passed through Mali, northern Nigeria, entire length of Nigeria, then Igbo land. In not very, very ancient times, the traffic between Africa south of the Sahara and north of the Sahara was quite immense. The Sahara Desert was not a barrier. There was serious traffic. We are seeing evidence that Jewish people participated in the foundations of some of the empires that existed in sub-Saharan Africa. We have Judah Pasha. I don't think that anybody but a Jew could have answered the name Judah Pasha. He led Morocco's armies against the Songhai Empire. So it's more likely for Jews to be participating in the traffic, in the trade.
The color of our ancestors who migrated is not what I can tell.
Do you think they were white? They were black. They were black. Abraham was black. Even Yaakov was not a white man. I think you get my point.
I don't want to sound racist. If I say Abraham is black, then I will be saying his white descendants are not his descendants. And if I say he's white, then I may be saying he cannot have black descendants. So I think it has to do with environmental factors.
When you visit Aguilera, there's many evidence to show that is where our ancestors migrated.
For that, one has to travel deep into Igbo land to the ancient kingdom of Aguilera.
The palace of Eri has stayed over 1,000 plus.
It's a small house they built for a man. That's what they mean, Aguilera.
There's burial ground of Eri in Aguilera.
And even when they came down here, they constructed a monument, the Aguilera, called Obugat.
Of Eri. But all I know is that the lineage of Eri came down to Nigeria.
The 10 lost tribes of Israel are scattered all over the world, and they believe some of them will be in Africa, Western Africa.
Remember that Almighty said that He will drive His children all over the world. He did not specify a particular place. He said He will scatter them. Somebody who believes that prophecy is true should also know that Africa is part of the world. Is also existing in the world, which Almighty said that He will scatter them all over.